Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode on the Survival World. That's right, we are back once again. And today we are starting off in the TNT town, which is a bit of, we haven't really been doing much in the TNT town relatively recently, have we? It's looking a little bit, a little bit tragic, to be fair, just a little bit tragic. But yeah, that's what we're starting off today here, because we're going to be doing a little bit of work in this place, finally. Finally, it's been way too long since we've done any work in TNT Town here. Now, something I want to mention before we get started into things is I tried to record an episode already, which, would have come out before, but unfortunately the recording corrupted. So I'm going to go over what we did in that episode. Well, the recording didn't corrupt. I updated my OBS version and the file size, it did something with my settings and the file size ended up being massive. And I had to get rid of it off my hard drive and stuff. But yeah, anyway, the first thing we did is over by the viewer recognition hall. Now, I don't know whether you know this place existed or not, but yeah, we have this. Basically, this is where I want to recognize viewers, I guess, with signs and stuff. Could be cool. Could be a cool idea. Anyway, so we, made these all sand with some seagrass in here, and we also went ahead and added these extra bits along here, this extra little hallway. So what I'm going to do, starting on this episode, or I guess next episode, is I'm going to take a comment from every single episode, and I'm going to chuck it up on the wall here. So yeah, one comment from every episode, so if you want to have a chance of getting featured, I guess, please go ahead and consider leaving a comment. Anyway, so yeah, we did that. I also went ahead and started work again on the nether tunnel from the nether hub to the new nether for the 1.16 update, which, by the way, we are in release candidate 1, which is a bit of a weird thing. I didn't know that existed, but anyway. As a result, we kind of ran out of basalt. And mining the basalt was increasingly dangerous and difficult, so I made this little machine here, which we can actually go ahead and decorate at some point as well. But this is a basalt generator, so we can literally just sit here and mine all the basalt like so, and we can get loads and loads of basalt, and it's a really cool little farm. Works really well, and yeah, you can see we've already got loads and loads of basalt from this thing. That was probably from like 10 minutes in total just sitting there. So yeah, really not much. Anyway, so today we're going to be doing some work over by TNT Town. What I want to do in today's episode is I want to prepare for rebuilding the witch farms. Because if you don't know, there was a bug in, I think, 20W22A, something like that, 21A maybe. It corrupted a few things, and the witch farms, the witch huts are no longer considered witch huts in the world, unfortunately. So what we're going to have to do is regenerate those chunks, so delete the chunks in the file, and then it'll regenerate those, and then we can, we'll have to rebuild the witch farm, obviously. So yeah, what I need for that is, because I want to do a more efficient design, I'm going to need a whole load of string. So I thought we may as well start work on a bit of a mob farm. Now, we do already have a mob farm that is all the way over here, over at the starter base, but this was built in episode like 4, maybe episode 5 or something like that. Really, yeah, not quite a while ago, and it doesn't really work with spiders very well, I don't think. Yeah, you can see we've got a little bit of string, but not much, and it's not the most efficient. That was an overnight AFK session, so yeah, really not super great. So what I want to do for this episode is build a mob farm, but I want to do it kind of separate. So I'm going to have one mob farm dedicated to every mob except for spiders. So every mob except for spiders will spawn in this mob farm, and then another mob farm where only spiders will spawn, which we can do quite simply just by having the spawning platforms have only one block of airspace. I think baby zombies might be able to spawn there, but I don't think that's a huge issue there. Oh, look at this. It's been a while since I've done this effect. Yeah, so I thought that I would mention, before I actually start constructing this thing, if you want to make one yourself, you can't use solid blocks for the spawning platforms. Yeah, you have to use topside slabs for the spawning platforms, because the spiders require a 1.5 block space above them to spawn, so you have to do basically top half slab, air block, top half slab, air block, top half slab, etc. So I did it with solid blocks. It didn't end up working. I ended up, rebuilding it with slabs after the fact. But anyway, so yeah, just keep that in mind, and yeah, on with the rest of the video. So yeah, that is kind of what I want to do here. And what I'm going to do in today's episode is build the spider one, because as I said before, we need string for, an efficient design here. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to be going ahead and doing here. Now, where are we going to build this thing? Over here we have, I was going to put the tree farm over here, but we don't really have a huge amount of room. Maybe we can put something up on this mountain here. That could work. I'm not 100% sure. Really not 100% sure, because this is a TNT town, right? You can see here, there's a lot of TNT. It's powered. The whole thing is meant to be powered by TNT. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to incorporate TNT in here. Now, I wanted to do it in the killing chamber, and I feel like we could do that if we tried hard enough. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. The first thing we have to deal with, though, is spiders climbing up walls. So I'm going to hop in the testing world, show you a design I've come up for that one. So I was originally thinking something along the lines of this, with shifting walls so that the spiders can't climb up the wall because they'll start climbing and then they'll fall off and then get pushed in, and they wouldn't be able to climb the wall, essentially. But that causes a lot of lag and would be pretty expensive with pistons. But then I realized, considering this is going to be a spider-only farm, we can actually go ahead and just make it 1 block tall. And the spiders, if they try and climb the wall, which they technically can, they'll still get pushed along, right? So this will actually work pretty well for a spider-only farm. I was also messing around with things like baby zombie sorters. So this will sort out adult zombies from baby zombies, and yeah, that works pretty well as well. Also messing around with some killing chamber designs, with TNT being dispensed there, TNT being dispensed here, and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're going to go for something similar for this in the final mob farm design, but that's going to come at a later date because we're only working on the spider section of it right now. Alright, so now we're in the single player world here, and I think it's time to start construction on the farm. Well, first of all, we need to find a place for the farm, right? So I was originally thinking up there maybe, but now I'm thinking somewhere more like over here possibly. I think this could work pretty well. So if we go over here, we might have to clear out quite a few trees, but I think we can build it in this section here. I'm going to build it slightly off the ground so we can have an AFK spot up in the sky that won't actually, it won't load the ground for mobs to spawn, right? So that essentially means that, yeah, mobs won't spawn on the ground and they'll only spawn in our farm, making it very efficient. As a result, though, we can't make the mobs go underground because otherwise they'll just despawn. Do we want to commit to that? I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to have to go relatively high up in the sky. But I think, you know what? I think that'll be all right. Right, so let's grab some stone and let's start planning this thing out here. So we want maybe the lowest the mobs can go to be about here. Even then, it's going to load the mountain up there, but I don't think that's a huge issue because if we go high enough, the sphere for the mob spawning won't actually include that mountain. Plus, we could always trim that down a bit. So let's get a better view of this mountain. Yeah, we're probably going to end up leveling that down a slight amount anyway. So I think it's probably best if we start here because that's slightly above there. So this is the lowest that the mobs are going to be allowed to end up going, right? So I kind of want to use TNT to kill the mobs. I think that could be pretty cool. It's just going to be a little bit hard to get that to work. Okay, will this work? Hey, okay. That was a major issue I was facing. Alright, so if the spider comes down here, and if he gets burnt in the lava... Did his items burn? Doesn't look like they did, does it? They all seem to go in there. I think it's alright, honestly. I think that's perfectly fine. It's able to pick it up through the lava, and I don't think it's really that big of an issue. So I think that's how we're going to end up killing them. Kind of. Asterisk. Now, the idea I have here is to have two different methods of killing. One if you're just going to AFK up there, and another for if you're not. So if you're up there, maybe we'll have a pressure plate up at an AFK platform up there, which will send a signal down, making sure they die at this level here. Otherwise, if it's just passively running while we're in the area, they'll go into this center area here, where all the other mobs will be as well, and that's where they'll get killed by TNT occasionally. So I think that is how we're going to do that. I think that could work really, really well, and yeah, I think that's how we are going to do it. First though, we need to work out how we're actually going to build this farm. Now I have a pretty good idea, and it's very similar to how we did the witch farm. Yeah, so we're going to be doing trapdoors with water for this one, and I think that could work. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so here's my first prototype back in the testing world once again for the spider farm. So basically, because spiders climb walls and they're just a bit of a pain in general, you can't really make them fall because, like we saw a couple times over here, they just climb back up. So what I'm going to do is embrace that by making them go up instead. So we actually only need bubble columns once every couple blocks here, and that should work well. So if we go ahead and spawn a couple spiders in here, we flick this lever, we should see they all go over to the edge here, and they should all go up in the bubble columns. Yes, there we go, perfect. Okay, so through this we can actually stop the spiders from climbing up the walls. So this is the mega advantage of having a spider only farm, because we can just make them float up. Now unfortunately we're going to need a lot of signs for this, but you can see that yeah, this farm is going to work really, really well. And on the top here we can simply just run, we can actually just do something along the lines of this probably, right? If we go ahead and do this, and have this go across here, and then grab some water, just like so, we can make it, oh, no, that's an issue. There we go, we can make the water go across like this, and all the way to the edge, so all the spiders should end up at the edge. Let's see if that is true, if we place a bunch of spiders in here. Let's see, do they all make their way to the edge there? Oh, they sure do. Oh yeah, alright, that is totally awesome. Seems that he's able to fight it a little bit, but I don't think that's a huge issue. And the best part about it is because they are spiders, let me just kill all of them here. The best part is because they are all spiders, if we, you know, decide that we want to make a block in the water, we can, because they're more than 2 blocks, so we could just, if we spawn one, you know, all the way back here and stuff like that, we should see that they make their way up and across, and they keep going. Because, yeah, they're 2 blocks wide. Perfect. That is brilliant. Alright. Alright, so here we are back in the survival world, and I think it's about time we start making a little bit of an outline for this thing. So, obviously, the final thing isn't going to be made out of stone. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I feel like we can make it out of the final blocks we want to make it out of. So, now we just got to work out what, what blocks we actually want to build this thing out of. Now, I'd like to use something like nether brick, but that is all our nether brick we have. Yeah. I think, honestly, it would be a lot better and a lot more economic if we build it out of stone brick. Or stone, or something like that. Because, let's be honest, we're not going to see it, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think it does. So let's go over here. Do we have stone? Oh, netherrack. We could do netherrack. You know what, yeah, let's do netherrack. It'll still fit with the theme, so if we want to add like windows on the side, we can still, you know, see it. And it's cheap and easy to come by, so if we end up blocking it off, it's not really that big of an issue. Alright, so now it's just time to go ahead and build these spawning platforms. They are going to be this big each, and I think I'm going to stack it up by quite a few high. I'm not going to do a double-sided design, so there's not going to be a side like this on the other side. I'm just going to do it a single-sided because that's just how it works best, I think. So let's go ahead and let's build all of this up. We can even go ahead and add some glass up the front here so we can see, you know, all the spiders in the system coming through and stuff. We just had to add a bit of a roof on the top to block out some of the light, right? But we should still be able to do that. I do like having windows in my mob farms, even though, you know, it's usually not the best thing to do. But I like doing it because if you make, as long as you make a sunroof on the top, a roof to block out the sunlight, you should be all good. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these spawning platforms up quite a bit, and I'm going to build quite a few of them up. And yeah, I'll be back with you once I have done that. Although I have just thought I will need to add trapdoors in. So yeah, let me add the trapdoors in, let me go ahead, build it up, and I'll be back with you once I've done that. And there it is. Alright, so this... Oh, I gotta be careful with that. This thing is pretty much fully constructed here, as you can see. I went ahead and, yeah, constructed this whole thing. It looks a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe doing both sides to make it look a little bit better, but I'm not doing both sides. I'm only doing one. Now, let's see. Have any spiders actually spawned in this thing? Doesn't look like it. I mean, that's fair enough, to be fair. But, yeah, anyway. So that is the whole... This whole thing done, pretty much. It should be a decent amount of spawning spaces, hopefully. Hopefully this thing will work. And I actually want to see, is this thing dark enough to spawn mobs at all? No. Okay, that would explain why there are no mobs. There are no spiders spawning in here, because it's not dark enough whatsoever. Alright, so we're going to have to do a little bit of darkening with a roof over this thing at some point, won't we? Yeah, I reckon we can make it look good, potentially, hopefully, possibly. Now, what I did is it's a 16 by 8 platform, and I did a whole bunch of those. I'm not entirely sure how much. I was going to do 2 more, but I decided against it in the end. But yeah, anyway, so this should have to go out 7 or 8? 8 blocks, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like so. I think that's how much it has to come out. So if we do like that, that was perfect. And then if we build this across all along here, this should hopefully make it dark enough in there to start spawning some mobs. Now, obviously, this looks pretty horrible at this current point in time. But I think I'm not going to worry about the aesthetics too much. I'm going to focus mainly on the functionality of the whole thing, right? Now, is it dark enough in here to spawn mobs? It should be dark enough out... Oh. We need to go 2 more blocks out? Looks like. Oh. Oh, no, it's the edges. Oh, well, why the... Oh, okay, I see why. That makes sense. Alright, let's see. Above the lava. Ooh, bit risky, but that's okay. Let's fly up here. Yeah, we need to make this go across there as well. Alright. Okay, let's take a look in here now. Okay, this is actually all light level 6. Alright, perfect. And this should go all the way across here. Yep, and it only gets darker in here. Awesome. So now spiders should be able to spawn in here. What I'm going to focus on now is the actual killing chamber for these guys. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add some blocks up here. Now, we actually... I know, we want to add blocks along here, don't we? And then the soul sand is going to go down a block and go along there, and that is where the water up the back is going to go. Alright, let's go ahead and let's grab some soul sand here. Alright, I don't know how I did that just then, but anyway. Now, what I think we need to do now is, if we chuck that in there, we need to make a whole load of signs. Now, the reason... This is going to be such a pain. I got to do this for many clicks. Yeah, we need to do this on the edge of all the spawning platforms. And the reason for that is because we want these spiders to be able to go up, but at the same time, we don't want the water to flow back into here. We're also going to have to make it go across here as well, won't we? Like across here? Yeah. That's a pain. Okay. That was way more effort than I thought it was originally going to be, placing all those signs, but we did it and we got there in the end. So now let's just clear out all of our netherrack scaffolding here, which thankfully is Instamine, so it doesn't take too long. And now that should all be good and ready in place. Now it's time for all the water, which I was getting ready to press escape as soon as I right-clicked. No, not anymore, not anymore. Alright, so now we need to add all the water for the bubble columns, and after that we should be getting pretty close to being done, actually. Alright, we've gone ahead and added all of these bubble columns up here. All fully done, so we should be able to, yep, get out here. Now if we go ahead and mine all of these up, we can see that, yeah, all of the bubble columns are done. And yeah, the spiders should be able to go all the way up here now. So let's go ahead and collect all the netherrack here down the bottom, because this stuff is valuable. It's not really, but I just want to collect it anyway. So now what I want to do is craft up yet more signs. So I've discovered that in the woodcutter, stonecutter thing, each wood is, each log rather, is a full 16 signs, which is a full length of this thing. So yeah, there we go. Now let's grab a couple more water sources. This is what we want to do now. So like that. And then this, that goes to the center. Do we want to do that? I don't think we want to do that. So I reckon because we're starting to run out of time here, because, you know, I already recorded an episode, but it didn't turn out, it didn't work out, you know, how I wanted it to, and yeah, all sorts of different things. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just make the killing chamber a bit of a temporary one up here. So what we did before is we just had this right here. This went across, and let's just, no, we'll need hoppers there. But basically, there was lava here, and the lava would kill the spiders, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and add another sign on there, because we're going to need to put some chests there. Yeah, okay. Look at that. That looks kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. And obviously it's going to look a lot cooler in the future once we actually do some of the aesthetics for that build, because at the moment it's pretty bare bones. I just made sure that I didn't have to replace any of the blocks that I used to actually build the farm. So yeah, it's looking relatively bare bones here, but what we want to do is craft all of these chests up into hoppers, just like so. That used almost half a stack of iron there. Luckily we have an iron farm, so we have, yeah, pretty much infinite iron here. So yeah, this is what we're going to want to do. So let's place in the double chests right, they're going to go here, I do believe. Yep, that happens every time. So then we want to go ahead and add in the hoppers that go right here, and we should, okay, yeah, the lava is just down here. I did that on purpose. I just chucked the lava somewhere, and I thought, what a better spot than right in the middle there. There we go. Alright, so now we've got the lava, and we should be able to just place that in here, and boom, there we go. Alright, so let's actually make it face the other way, just in case it, you know, flows some of the items or something. I don't know. Let's just do it like that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cap this off by building this over the top here, and oh, I hope that doesn't provide light to down here. Let's see. 10 block. It does. It provides light. That's an issue. Alright, so I've gone ahead and moved this over here. So now if we head into this top layer here, we should see, hopefully, if we do it properly. Yeah, only 4 block. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure that, yeah, that wasn't getting any light whatsoever. So it's getting a tiny bit, but not enough to affect the rates. Alright, so now let's cover all of this over, just like so, all the way up to here. And yeah, we should see spiders start to come in here and die, which is really, really awesome. Alright, now what we've got to go ahead and do is actually build the redstone for it. So the redstone should be fairly simple. We actually only need these sticky pistons here, along with a couple hoppers which we can make up here. Yeah, this isn't going to take long at all. You'd think that after years of playing this game, I'd be able to, you know, actually manage my inventory, but nope, definitely not. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead. What I want to do is add a piston in there. Now, I'm a little bit worried that this will bud power if we do something like this. Nah, it should be fine, I'm pretty sure. So let's add this here. Let's just chuck some stuff in here. We're going to need that. We're going to need that. Let's chuck a couple stacks of this in here because we're not going to need all of that. And let's grab a crafting table here. We're going to want to craft quite a few redstone blocks here. So we're going to have alternating between regular block and redstone block. And so once this gets pushed up, it will activate all the floors, and then that'll push it back down. Will this work? Hopefully it will. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'll see. Now, of course, we're also going to have to go ahead and run redstone along the back of all of these. So I grabbed a little bit more redstone from the starter base here. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Alright, so what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do for the top is make a whole load of repeaters. Maybe that many, sure. I don't want to make too many because we're running out of redstone extremely quickly here. We might have to go mining for redstone if we want to build a witch farm relatively soon. But anyway. Okay. So you saw how that worked there. Now this should work pretty well, hopefully. So now what we need to do, that only requires an update. Oh, okay. And you can see that reset it down like so. Alright, so let's not build our redstone on this. Oh god, the lag. Okay, we're gonna have to redo this whole tower anyway. Let's make sure we don't drop any of these. So we want this on by default then. This is why I love the old trapdoor sound. Oh, just the crunching is beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, because of this, we obviously want this to be inverted. So we should see that, yeah, okay, so that's not going to work here. We need this to be on a monostable, I guess, then, don't we? Okay, after a bunch of fiddly redstone, this should hopefully work. So if we chuck that in there, once that goes across, that should just give this a quick pulse, hopefully, if the redstone torch is fast enough. Hey, okay. So that pulsed very quickly, and then that should push it back down at some point. That is definitely not long enough. Let's see, while we've been working on this, let's just for fun, I highly doubt we have... Yeah, no string. Worth a shot. Okay. There we go. That should be good. Now you can faintly see, if you look close enough... Yep, okay, so the water's just gone away. So the water is hopefully up there for long enough. Honestly, at this point, I don't have time. So, I don't really have time to fix it if it's wrong. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a bit of a temporary AFK platform up in the sky. So let's get whatever minimum distance this is. So let's go up here. Let's just go here. The slowest, 89. So let's go 128 plus 89, whatever that is, into the sky. Alright, and there we go. So that is the AFK platform done. And got a couple things poking into the sky right here, don't we? Let's see. Again, highly doubt that we have, but let's see. Have we got any strings so far? No. Alright, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to AFK at this farm while I edit this video. Yeah, so while I edit this video, I'm going to go ahead, go AFK at this farm, and yeah, hopefully this will start producing some drops. So anyway, let's, you know what, let's end off the episode in front of this thing. May as well. So yeah, I think that will just about do it for today's episode of the survival world. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.